And thank you, Iris, for bringing people in while I get this going. So welcome again, all of our student team and faculty members, as well as our advisory board. My name is Neela White, and I am co-PI of the AAAS HBCU Making Innovation Initiative, along with Dr. Iris Wagstaff, who you can see here. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that we can kind of go through the agenda and then jump right into the videos. Iris, do you want to welcome them while I get my screen shared?
Thank you all for joining us. We are excited to have this session. Thank you to our amazing board. We just shared some of this work at the Deshpande Symposium, and a lot of interest in collaborating and partnering with us. So hopefully you all will benefit from those interactions we had at Deshpande. So I'll hand it over to Neela.
Thank you. Okay, so as you all know, this is our e-mentoring session where we will review the student team video pitches that you all have taken the time to record for us. Thank you for so many of you all being innovative in trying to put these videos together. I know that as it's summer, there's students that are on internships, many doing summer courses, some that are home. And you've all had to put your brains together to figure out how can we make this video to showcase our prototype. So I want to thank each of you for taking the time to do that. Today, this is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to introduce our advisors, who I'm calling our pitch advisors, who are going to be on board for this session to kind of give you some guidance, offer feedback, give you tips for your video sessions. For each student team pitch review, we're going to go through, there's no order. I just kind of put them in as they were delivered to me. So what we'll do is we'll introduce a video. At that time, if you see your institution or your team, because there are teams from multiple, they're all multiple teams from the same institution. If you are a member of that team, I'd like for you to come off mute and just say hello, say your name, what year you are and what your major is. And then we will take the time to review your video at that time. Then, oops, I'm sorry, guys. At that time, we'll go through and, sorry, get feedback. Once we finish that, we'll receive feedback from our pitch advisors and from the AAAS staff. We'll allow, it's about maybe 2 to 3 to 5 minutes max for that. We usually don't take no more than 2 to 3 minutes for each of the videos to provide feedback. And then we'll have a general Q&A session at the conclusion of all the videos. After that, we will share our post survey, one that you can complete fairly quickly. I'll share the link in the chat as well as when we share the recording after the fact. And then just final thoughts if there's any other comments or questions that anyone has. So if there are any questions before we get started, I just want to be mindful. Does any members of the teams have any questions before we get going? I don't see any raised hands. And again, Iris, Claire, feel free to, as I'm going through this, feel free to alert me if there's anything that comes up. So once again, I'd like to share with you all just a congratulations to all of the teams that we have this year for our advisors. We have a record 20 teams this year, and we are truly excited about that. So we just want to congratulate the teams from Bowie State, Philander Smith University, Spelman College, Fisk University, Tuskegee University, Morgan State University, North Carolina A&T State University, South Carolina State University, Morehouse College, Jackson State University, and Alabama A&M University. And I need to update this slide because I did learn that our Spelman College team is a joint team with Bethune-Cookman. So congratulations also to Bethune-Cookman for being a part of the showcase. Next, I want to introduce our advisory board who we have here. I have termed them the pitch advisors. And again, these will be our experts who are going to share some of their expertise to you all throughout this session on your pitches and provide that feedback to you all. So I'm going to start, Lakeisha, you're first on my screen. So I'm going to start with you. If you can just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and any advice, any quick words to our team members if you want to share that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Neela. Hello, everyone. Lakeisha Greenwade here, coming to you live from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm the founder and CEO of Wearable Tech Ventures, where we develop and promote wearable technology. If you want to learn more about that, make sure you register for our experience in July. It's free tech skills training. But outside of being an advisor at AAAS, I also advise a number of startups around the country with Techstars, as well as with NSF with their I-Corps program. And I've also been an advisor for a few years with NASDAQ as well as the Dingman Center. So as far as preparing for us today, be confident, be open to feedback, and also just come with your A game. Just come with some enthusiasm for what it is that you want to bring into the world. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Lakeisha. I appreciate those words, and I'm sure the teams do as well. Next up, we have Dorothy Jones-Davis. Dorothy, if you want to come off mute and introduce yourself to the teams.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Dorothy Jones-Davis, and I'm currently the Chief Impact Officer at Kid Museum, which is a hands-on experiential makerspace and museum in the DC area. Prior to that, I was the Executive Director of an organization called Nation of Makers, which is a national nonprofit that serves as an association for all of the maker spaces and maker organizations around the country. So my vantage point is really having an eye on the maker movement across the country and internationally, and just being able to sort of see all of the different things that have happened and continue to happen within that landscape. And just really excited to hear about your projects and to just really welcome additional HBCU members to be a part of the maker community.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I do not see any other advisory board members yet. I know a few more mentioned that they would like to join us to be a part of this session. So if they do come on, we'll be sure to make sure they introduce themselves to you. So like I stated, this is pretty much going to be a straightforward session. We'll share a video from each of our student teams that were able to submit their videos on time. Thank you all for doing so. After that, we'll pause and allow our advisors to provide some feedback to that, a brief discussion with the team if they have any, and then we'll conclude all of the videos with a Q&A session at the end. If you have any tips or advice that you would like to receive from AAAS or from our advisors, you can use that Q&A time to do so. So I want to see if any of the members of our Fisk University team are present. If you are, can you please come off mute? Teams Trans Waste. Do we have anyone from there? Yeah. I haven't seen anyone come off mute. Have you, Iris? I'm sorry. Okay.
Nope, sorry.
Okay, thank you. No, it's okay, because I'm trying to scroll through the thing to move forward. What we'll do is we'll move past theirs and we'll just go on to the next team that we have.
Hello, everyone.
Alabama A&M University. Is anyone from Team Skills Edge here? Can you please come off mute and let us know?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hi, Sunday. Thank you so much. What we're going to do now is we're going to share your video, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, and if there are any other team members on here to introduce yourself, just your name, your what year you are, and what your major is.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Sonjo Chigo. I just completed my freshman year, so I'm technically rising sophomore at
Great.
Alabama A&M.
You went on mute really quick. Okay.
The team lead for Skills Edge. Unfortunately, I do not have any of my team members on here today with me, but yeah, I'm representing them.
Well, we appreciate you representing your team, Team Skills Edge. So we're going to go ahead and show your video. Before we get started, I'd like for everyone to know that we appreciate all the hard work that the teams put into these videos. Do know that with some of the videos, the sound quality may be low. So I want to ask you to take one moment and just turn your volume up as loud as possible. I have my volume as loud as it can be, as well as the volume on the videos, but just be mindful of that in case the sound quality is low, to try and make sure you can turn up your volume as much as possible. All right, we will get started with the Alabama A&M Skills Edge team.
Presenting team from Alabama A&M University participating in the AAAS Innovation Challenge. We're presenting to you our solution Skills Edge, which is a solution aimed at bridging the skill gap among students in schools and colleges by providing them with hands-on learning that are personalized to their learning pathways and offer them opportunities to gain technical skills, learn about entrepreneurship and essential soft skills and hard skills, and facilitate real-world capstone projects under expert guidance, which will allow our students to leave our platform with skills that can help them get into the real world. And this is focused on students in Alabama, and we believe that every student deserves the opportunity to graduate not only with a diploma, but a toolkit of skills that set them apart in college and beyond. So this is a prototype of what we have so far. You can see our web platform here. And when you go to our homepage, you can see some of our main features, a description of what it is that we're going to be offering, a personalized learning platform, schemes for everyone, and just listed some of the other features there. So for our users to use this, first they're going to want to create their account. And once they get into the system, they'll be able to see courses that they can get into. As you can see, we have some examples of courses that we would want to have, ranging from electronics courses, where they can build useful prototypes, or Zumba certifications, where they can start to learn how to host their own classes and make their own money. We're really just trying to give our students skills that can serve them beyond their classes and allow them to be able to make changes in their personal lives as soon as they get out of college. My name is Shaman Betwa, and this is my team on the screen: Sunday, John, Opeolua, and Tavo. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Sunday, for sharing the video and for being the representative for your team. Before we get started, I'm going to allow Dorothy or Lakeisha to kind of just give their initial remarks. And then Sunday, if you have any quick feedback or questions for them, we'll give you the opportunity to do so.
So I can go first. So I want to say, first of all, this is great. I think my first feeling was like, wow, this is really clear. I think, kudos to your team to creating a pitch video that was very clear. There weren't any questions about what you were trying to do. And I think that clarity and brevity are really, really key to pitching and making sure that we understand what it is that you're trying to do. I think the actual product itself is pretty phenomenal. I think that there is a need for students to have real world experiences and to get trained and get credentialed. There are actually lots of adults in the real world trying to figure these problems out and think about platforms in the ways that students would actually use them. So to have students design something that they themselves feel like they would use, they would adhere to, really goes a long way, at least in my book. I think, questions that I immediately come are just understanding a little bit more about what the offerings are. I thought you actually did a great job of showing like some of the different offerings, and the variety of offerings is really wonderful. But thinking through, okay, what kinds of partners would I need for this to actually work? Who would be doing the credentialing? How would the students make the connection to future employers? Those are things you want to think about so that you're ready when folks start asking you some of those questions, which are the next questions. I think there'll be a lot of excitement around this product and what it could do. And I think the excitement will quickly bubble into, okay, so what's the next thing? How are you going to connect this? What are the students going to do? How is this going to give you credit at school? Is this going to give you some sort of other credential? What does that credential look like? And who are some of the employers that may already have, said, yes, I'm signing up. So those are some of the things that quickly, jump to mind. And then I think the other piece that you may want to start thinking about is comparators, right? So how does this compare to other similar platforms, and what makes your product better than the other products that are out there, whether it's, you know, okay, students are going to use ours more, it's made by students for students. That's actually something that could be a selling point. But those are some of the things that you might want to start to think about. But great job in the start. This is really wonderful as at this point in the competition. So just really excited about the work that you've already done. And I'll turn it over to Lakeisha.
Thank you.
Awesome feedback, Dorothy. And I just want to echo the sentiments of students creating this platform. As she said, many people are trying to figure this out. So for you to provide this platform is amazing. An area of opportunity I saw was to identify, how did you determine which classes and or certifications are going to be featured? Was there a survey, or how many people did you survey, or was there data that you were looking at? I think it's important to have that, if it's not stated, at least written somewhere. In addition, I think there's an opportunity to indicate the ROI for those that actually partake in the skill trainings, again, whether it be for entrepreneurial or for work. That's going to be a significant selling point if you do decide to launch this, so that people can make it easy to smack the buy button.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dorothy and Lakeisha. Iris, I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to chime in on with that.
Just quickly, I mean, this great job, but just echo Lakeisha and Dorothy's sentiments, because workforce demands, changing technology, and really trying to, help the U.S. be prepared for future work. And maybe a local company or a regional company can give you some, input, run it by them, and can just give you some, really inform this work, like how would they use that? What are the skills specifically needed? So great job.
Thank you.
Great job, Sunday. To be mindful of time, I want to push all of our questions to the Q&A portion so we can get through all the videos, but I just wanted to thank you once again for representing your team. And if you have any questions, make sure you stay on so that you can ask Lakeisha and Dorothy and the team
Right,
at the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so great job, Alabama A&M team Trans Waste, was Skills Edge. Sorry about that. I want to move on. If there are members of the Miracle Potato team from North Carolina A&T, if there's anyone on here, if you could come off mute.
Hi, I'm one of the members.
Hi, Kiana.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and play your video, and then same thing, we'll pass it over to our advisors. And then if you have any questions, we can hold them for Q&A at the end. So I'll go ahead and start your video.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Rashid Adedeji, a graduate research assistant from the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University.
My name is Kiana Harrison. I am a senior at NC Agricultural and Technical State University, majoring in food and nutritional sciences.
My name is Eden Harris, and I am a junior food and nutritional sciences student at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University.
My name is Hakeem Eden. I am a graduate student in North Carolina A&T State University, and our story will begin from here.
Food waste is a global problem, but in North Carolina, a simple sweet potato has become a beacon of hope. North Carolina, the leading producer of sweet potatoes in the US, faced a significant challenge. Mountains of imperfect sweet potatoes, those deemed unfit for grocery store shelves, were discarded. This is the story of how North Carolina turned this potential waste into economic and environmental gold. From trash to treasure, North Carolina's innovation. The research team in the Food and Nutritional Sciences program at North Carolina A&T State University began with a simple question. What if these imperfect sweet potatoes weren't wasted, but instead viewed as a valuable resource? The research team developed a practical technology for converting North Carolina sweet potato wastage into value-added ingredients. This technology is based on the conversion of the starchy materials in sweet potatoes to readily available functional ingredients. These ingredients can be used in a wide range of applications, including dietary supplements, feed supplements for animals, and fertilizer for organic farming. The developed technology is easy to use, inexpensive, and could be utilized in the future to produce valued added ingredients for additional agricultural byproducts.
Thank you, North Carolina A&T. And Dorothy or Lakeisha, would you like to start?
I'll go really quickly. So good job, North Carolina A&T. I would like to acknowledge that, yes, you are definitely looking at a problem that needs to be solved. And I believe that this problem is scalable to be solved, not only in North Carolina, but I'll give you an example here in Maryland. Recently, we were talking to the Department of Ag, and there was an influx of apples, and they didn't know what to do with that. And then there were some crops that couldn't be used. So it might be helpful in your pitch to specify an area where that you can solve for utilizing the sweet potatoes, and then identify how you can scale that beyond the state to other states that may have similar challenges, especially if there's a change in harvest that comes about. So overall, looking forward to see you develop that a little bit more, but excited that you are touching on it.
And I'll just echo what Lakeisha said. I think the thing that I took away is definitely that this is the problem, and I'm excited to see how you'll solve it. But I think understanding one of the very specific cases, because as it said, there's a lot of applications, so perhaps choosing one application and really laser focusing on that so that it's very, very clear and very specific. This is the problem, this is the solution, here's how we're doing that, will help it to be more compelling. Sometimes when we're at the 10,000 foot and there's lots of things we can solve, it's easy to say we can solve all of these problems, but maybe we're not as detailed as we can be in a particular piece of that. So just making sure that it's very clear what one specific piece is, and then you can say, okay, and now you can see how this could also be applied to Y and Z and all of the other sort of cases. So again, really great work that you're already starting, and really excited to watch this grow.
Thank you both. Iris, would you like to chime in at all?
I'll hold my comments to the end. We can just get through.
I'll do that moving forward. Great. Okay. Thank you, Kiana, for representing the North Carolina A&T Miracle Potato team. Do we have anybody from Morgan State University team CWMFC?
Yeah, I'm here. Nicholas.
Hi, Nicholas. Yes, I will go ahead and share your video. We don't have to go to the intros because you all have been doing a good job of doing that in the video. So I'll just go ahead and move forward with showing the video.
The assessment of sanitation in rural Alabama highlights the prevalence of straight pipe systems and viral indicators of human waste and environmental samples. At least 30,000 homes in Alabama have failing septic systems in the Black Belt region. How do we improve sanitation infrastructure in this area?
We introduced constructed wetland coupled microbial fuel cell, CWMFC, as a hybrid technology. With CWMFC, we can make a huge difference. Like any typical microbial fuel cell, MFC comprises an anaerobic cell and an aerobic cell separated by a membrane. In the anaerobic cell, electroactive bacteria oxidizes organic substrate in wastewater, releasing protons and electrons. Electrons are traveled to the anode electrode and passed to the cathode through an electrical circuit, producing electricity. Moreover, the naturally existing stratified redox gradient in constructed wetlands are highly consistent with the conditions in MFC. Aerobic zone at the air-water interface and aerobic area in the inner lower part. Hence, their possible integration for sustainable wastewater treatment and energy generation.
In the Landers County community, the constructed Westland microbial fuel cell will serve as a best available technology for wastewater treatment, and it will also help to generate energy to the community.
Through this, we aim to contribute towards attaining 4 Sustainable Development Goals: SDG 3, Good Health and Well-Being, SDG 6, SDG 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, and SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities.
With CWMFC, we can make a difference in every community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas and your team. pitch advisors, please feel free to come off mute.
Yeah, so I'll go first again, and we'll just kind of switch back and forth. I think that works well. Great job, Morgan State. I definitely think that this is, if you've ever lived anywhere that has a septic system, you understand how much of a challenge this actually is. And I think with climate change, and actually this was something I was going to suggest, is you may want to also, if you have time within your pitch, talk a little bit about the impacts of climate change, because this actually makes it a much larger problem. So when you have flooding and areas that have, are actually using septic systems, you have additional challenges. And so this becomes much more important to solve and really think about how we're constructing wetland so that we're able to deal with the impacts of increased flooding, as well as this challenge with septic systems. So I think the problem's really clearly delineated, the solution's really delineated. One thing I will say is you got really technical really, really quickly. And so while that's good because it's really important to show your scientific solution, it may also be important to sort of think about how you sort of market that. I think that's a nice to have, not a need to have. I think it's really important that you do go through this, how you're solving the problem. And I think that you were very clear there. So that was an A+ on that, and trying to make sure that something very technical, everyone understood. I felt like I understood that, and that's not my area of specialty in science. So great job to you. And I think, you'll just continue to improve. So I appreciate that. Turn over to Lakeisha.
Great job. And I look forward to learning more. There was an area where you mentioned, I believe it was a Black Belt region. And so it would be helpful if when you mentioned that, there's also a clear map, because the last thing you want to do is leave a viewer or an investor with a question mark, because they'll get stuck there and never listen to the rest of your presentation. The other thing, echoing with what Dorothy said, plain language is best. Yes, we know you are brilliant, but again, you want to make sure that anyone that's listening to you can follow. And one of the questions I had, and maybe I missed it, but why hasn't this been instituted before? Or is there, a significant investment or cost savings, or is the technology different? Because in this day and age, to see, like, was it 30,000 or 300,000 homes that have this issue related to a septic system? I'm like, what's going on? So being able to quantify the problem was helpful for me in the beginning, but I do have questions like, why hasn't anything been done, up until now, and why is this the best solution? So if you can answer that a little bit more clearly in the future, it will definitely benefit you.
Thank you, ladies, for the feedback on that. Thank you, Nicholas, for representing your team. Any questions, we can have them in the Q&A portion. Do we have any of our members from Team Greenloom Fabrics from Bethune-Cookman or Spelman College?
Hi, yes, we're here.
Hi,
Yes.
great. Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started with your video.
So our company is Greenloom Fabrics Company, where we will be making fabric from hemp, algae, and indigo dye. Here is our prototype. We will basically purchase a fabric making machine to transform the hemp and algae into fabric. The problem is that the fashion industry produces 92 million tons of waste a year. This negatively impacts people who live in communities that are near toxic waste sites and highways, which is a majority of Black communities.
As of 2023, the global textile market, the total addressable market for global textiles is $1.8 trillion annually. And even if our company only captures 0.1% of the total market, we'll still earn around $1.8 billion. So for our competitors, they lack transparency, but as for us, we list our materials on our website, and 5 to 10% of our proceeds will go to Farms to Grow Incorporated.
So for fundraising, we will collaborate with the local Black fashion designers. We will basically host a fashion show where they will showcase their designs using our fabric. We would also host sewing classes, styling sessions, and fashion workshops.
I'm Courtney Melvin, a student at Spelman College.
I'm Amanda Lucien, a student at Bethune-Cookman University.
Thank you.
Thank you. So our company is
Sorry about that. Thank you both ladies for sharing with us your prototype. Lakeisha, go ahead and share.
Well, you already know I got my pom-poms waving because this is a portion of wearable technology. And so, ladies, I urge you to make sure that you're sharing this with me and our team, as well as in July with some of our folks from Levi's and Mattel, just a shameless plug. But one of the key things mentioned there was the machinery. And we know when developing new fabrics and materials, it can be quite cost intensive. So as you are preparing your final pitch, it would be to your advantage to identify any regional resources that can help minimize that initial expense, because it can be quite hefty, and we can assist you with that. The other piece, it would be helpful to know how that fabric could be used, and then also to make sure that there's a clear differential analysis in the way that that fabric is used, and also some data around the impact that it would make overall for the economy, as well as for cost savings, or is there truly a cost savings? Because there are some questions about that overall in the industry. But kudos for attacking this particular segment, because it is a huge topic of discussion in fashion.
And I'll just echo Lakeisha. I think this is really wonderful. I think only one suggestion I have is when you led with the technology first, which is great because we're excited about the technology, but I think you want to draw the potential investor in and really tell them the problem first, really identify the problem. You went quickly to the problem afterwards, so it really wasn't as much of a challenge, but you kind of want to create a story like, why is this needed? Why is this so important? What is the cost savings? What is really the challenge that we're seeing? And how does your specific technology stand out? What's the return on investment? What's the need case for why you have to have this, and why this does better than other comparators as well. And I noticed there were a couple within the video, and obviously this is just your first try at this. There were a couple slides that seemed like they were skipped over. They were just kind of like quickly gone through. So we just want to make sure that whatever information is there, that, as Lakeisha said in a previous comment, sometimes people get stuck on, what did I miss? Oh no, wait, and they're not paying attention anymore. So you just want to make sure that when you do your pitch, everything that's up there is very clear and succinct, and that no unnecessary information is up there, because people will get caught on that and ask you to go back. And in a real live pitch, they may ask you, go back to that slide, right? And then you've now lost your little bit of time that you have. So just something to think about as you present is just the order of operations, but I think it's a wonderful product and really excited to learn more.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Team Greenlow. North Carolina A&T State, Team IPAVE, do we have any representatives from there?
Yes, we are on today.
Hi, good. We'll go ahead and share your video.
I've just been thinking, man, what's something that we really need?
I mean, we could really but that's an air fryer type deal.
Air fryer already exists. We need to fix the roads.
Nah, for real.
We need to keep a focus on infrastructure around Greensboro.
Did you know 1 in 5 drivers experience damage from their cars from unmaintained roads? And with the average price tag of $600 per car and total up to $26.5 billion per road repair? And generally, highways with poor conditions usually cost drivers up to $571 a year.
By developing an AI-powered management roadway system named AAAS, which will use aerial images. For example, Google Earth images map drone images to identify the potential pavement defections. To create work orders for field inspections using 3D reality data to predict the life cycles of roadways and pavement conditions.
The iPad prototype roadway management system with the aerial view, we're able to see the different depths and imperfections in the roadways.
Great job. Great job.
Okay, so I think it's a great job, a really great video. I want to say, first of all, kudos to you with subtitles and accessibility. It's something we often don't think about, but it actually is really important. And it's something that immediately people are like, wow, they're thinking about additional pieces. So that's great. One thing I wanted to say with that, though, is that can create a different challenge. So sometimes it's good to look at it once you have the subtitles there and then see if you can get rid of other legends or descriptions on images, only because sometimes then your eyes don't know where to go and it creates a noisiness in your presentation. That's like a nice little additional just check over, but overall it was very clear what you were trying to do. I think the thing I was left with was, what will this technology, I understood what the technology was and I understood the reason why we need it, but I wasn't clear on who is your buyer, who will use this technology in the future and what will they potentially do with it. So I think any sort of clear, stakeholder that you could identify, and even if you don't have them, like, right, the state of, North Carolina is not, for example, maybe interested in purchasing this, or you don't have a commitment in that way, you can at least talk to someone in an office of infrastructure and talk to them. If you had this technology, what would you do with it? And understand, is that something they would procure for? Is that something that, a private, company might procure for? Who is your buyer and who is your consumer? So that's something that I was left a little bit uncertain about, but otherwise looks like a great job you guys are doing so far. And over to Lakeisha.
Yes, echoing all the sentiments on the subtitles and whatnot. And then also being here in Baltimore City, I know many people that would say, yes, we need that technology because they're tired of their cars and their tires being torn up. But even more so, another market, those that are on scooters that may be involved in accidents, which is becoming more frequent than not. So, there's a couple of ways to look at that. And again, addressing what Dorothy said, that target market. Is it something of using that third party, like those scooter companies that may be wanting to assess or limit their liability? Or what would it take for adoption from the city? And what does that investment look like? So if you could clarify that, do some additional research, it would definitely make a stronger pitch, but I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Thank you. And thank you, Team iPaid from North Carolina A&T State. We're going to move on. Do we have members of the Bowie State University Team Insta-Neighbor on? I don't see anyone. Okay. We'll move on to Philander Smith University. My apologies. I should say Philander Smith University. Do we have anyone from Team Feast Forward?
Annually.
We have our second North Carolina A&T team. Team What's the Count? Do we have members of that team on?
Yes.
Present.
Hi, Dr. Wilkins and team. We'll go ahead and show your video.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Nigel Diggs.
Dr. Wilkins, if you could put yours on mute for now, because this audio was kind of low, so it may be a little, thank you. And just mindful the audio, the video is good, but the audio is a little low on this. So those who are on the call, you may need to turn your volume up to the highest level if possible.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Nigel Diggs.
And I'm Jada Eaton.
And we're representing North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. And this is our project, What's the Count?
So what's the problem? Currently on the market, there is only manual methods of scorekeeping, such as a referee. This method is usually expensive and not accessible to random recreational games.
And why is this a problem, you may ask? When you're playing recreational sports, arguments may occur, debates may happen, and you just might not be on the same page. And also, it might take a lot of time. But we've seen some of the biggest problems happen is that it involves into fights and it involves into conflict. And that's something that we want to avoid because we feel that no matter what game it is, it doesn't involve or it doesn't cause somebody's life on the line to have fun.
So the goal of our product is to bring back integrity, good sportsmanship, safety, and create a wearable sport tracker, and most of all, fun.
While we're saving time, because being able to have fun and also having a smooth gameplay, I mean, can't get anything better than that, right? The wearable watch that each opposing team will be wearing, and this will be the scoreboard that you will be using. The watch is connected to the scoreboard, so there will be a home watch and there will also be a guest watch. This watch is currently connected to the home side, so whenever you swipe, if you swipe up, if you swipe down, the score will change on the scoreboard. So an example of that would be, say if I have the watch on right here and I score a point, I'll be able to slide it up and down just like that, and that'll change the score. I'll show you an example right here. Just like that. And if I score another one, I'll be able to just like that. And if say that the game is over and I want to clear the score, or say that, he didn't really make that, but I accidentally changed it, I can go down as well, just like this. And again. Boom.
Thank you so much. Team, what's the count?
I'm first this time, right? I think, I apologize. I think my Wi-Fi went out for a second, so I missed a portion of it. But I saw the scoreboard and the watch. So kudos to you. There's a huge opportunity for wearables in sports as a resource. So I want to point you to maybe season 1 or season 2 of the Wearable Takeover podcast. There was a founder out of Alabama that created accounting football. So that might be something to kind of look into as well. It would be helpful to clarify, are these recreational games that you're proposing for this system and how they will pay for it? And then also who's resetting that? And again, that could be the portion that I missed because my Wi-Fi went out. But as far as the impact, you made it very clear that people are passionate about their sports and that, deaths and even arguments can come out of that. And so you're trying to prevent that and promote more accuracy, if you will. But again, if you could just really specify recreational or if there are other leagues or whatnot, and then also what's that investment long-term that they would be making. And again, this is something that we wouldn't have heard today, but I think for your final presentation, it's going to be incredibly important that you really identify that target market. But good job.
And I'll just echo Lakeisha. I think my question was very similar, was like, if the challenge is the human aspect, just trying to identify how does this address that need specifically. So is it still requiring a human to swipe the watch? Is there a next tier of this? So like prototype 1 is a human has to do it, but then maybe prototype 2 involves AI in some way or some other way to, sensors or something else, some other technology to be able to sort of reduce the human element. Just so that it's really, really clear how this solves the problem that is indicated. And I agree with Lakeisha in terms of also I was trying to figure out, like in some ways, I think the market actually might be better for recreational sports than it would be. And it also would address the more direct issue, because I think the conflicts that we see often are not with elite sports or sports where, large team sports, of course, people get passionate about their teams, but I think you see some of the real violence happening in like a pickup game, right? Like, it's a 3-on-3 or something like that. That's happening in a local park or something like that. And so understanding like how that problem might be more specifically solved using this particular technology. But I agree that it's a great start. The only other thing I would say, and I don't know if this is just a technical thing because of the way it was displayed just now, but it seemed like some of the stuff was getting cut off in the video. And so I don't know if that also is something that will need to be solved before the end, but just wanted to say that just in case it wasn't noticed.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you so much, team. What's the count? Moving on to Tuskegee University, Team Bonus Butter. Do we have anyone from there representing Tuskegee?
Hi, my name is Kylie Snell, and I'm a part of the Tuskegee University team.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Kylie. We'll go ahead and view your video.
Hi, my name is Kylie Snell, and I'm a nursing major. Hello, I'm Chirmo Carlo, and I'm a freshman economics major. Hello, I'm Raya Darkis, and I'm an animal science major. Hi, my name is Jamia Eves, and I'm an upcoming sophomore animal science major. Bonus Butter addresses United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by promoting health and well-being through its brain-boosting properties. There is a strong contribution to good health and well-being and zero hunger by providing a nutritious option for artificial substitutes. In addition, Bonus Butter supports quality education and reduces inequalities by educating consumers about nutrition and brain health, reducing inequalities in access to promote health-promoting products and knowledge. Lastly, Bonus Butter contributes to climate action and peace, justice, and strong institutions through the incorporation of sustainably sourcing practices and environmentally friendly production methods, promoting fair and equitable practices within the food industry. Bonus butters social justice issues by promoting access to nutritious and brain-boosting foods for individuals from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. Bonus Butter offers a product that enhances cognitive function, helping level the playing field by providing access to resources that support mental well-being. Bonus Butter contributes to promoting social justice and fostering a more equitable food system by prioritizing inclusivity and equity in its production and distribution. Environmentally, Bonus Butter promotes sustainability through its sourcing practices and production methods that contribute to environmental conservation efforts and a healthier planet. In addition, the product aims to educate consumers about nutrition and brain health, thereby addressing educational disparities and empowering individuals to make informed dietary choices. The purpose of this project is to develop and introduce Bonus Butter, a unique butter product infused health enhancing supplements into the market. Bonus Butter aims to offer consumers a delicious and nutritious spread that enhances their culinary experience while providing tangible health benefits, particularly for brain health and cognitive function. With the use of supplements known for cognitive enhancing properties, Bonus Butter seeks to address the growing demand for functional foods that support overall well-being. Through this project, we aim to promote access to brain-boosting nutrition and contribute to healthier lifestyles for our consumers. The target audience for Bonus Butter is health-conscious individuals seeking convenient, nutritious options, including families, professionals, seniors, and advocates for nutrition, education, and sustainable products.
Thank you so much to our team from Tuskegee University.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'm hungry now because that image of butter on bread just made me real hungry. So kudos to you for making me hungry. I think this is a great product. Really interested in learning more about it. I think some suggestions I might have is a little bit, it had me asking a lot of questions. I think I'd love to learn a little bit more about how, for example, I know you're going to promote social justice, and some of that is in the way that you produce Bonus Butter, the way that you your workforce, how you're actually proposing that this gets scaled up and distributed. just understand a little bit more about what does that look like, right? So I think one suggestion I might have for the video itself is that while each of you are lovely looking people, it could be that it's a voice overlay, right? So that you have some space to put in some additional data around how you might be, doing that work around social justice, how, more data around how does this actually promote cognitive wellness? So understanding, what the actual components are. You don't have to go super deep into the science, right? Like you don't, again, to a previous point, we don't want to inundate folks with so much science that they're like, I don't even know what the gobbledygook you just said, but that we do give enough science so that it's clear that there is a research-backed product here, and that all the research that's been done to show how this could work is actually visible to the potential investors. So just a little bit more about that would be really, really great. The great thing is that you have a great product, and now the pieces that I see for enhancement is really around developing more almost of a marketing sort of lens to it. So thinking about how you might market it as a product, with the appropriate data and information as well. And I'll turn it over to Lakeisha.
Great points, Dorothy. And I'm going to pull into my hat of 20 plus years ago of having been in the food science industry. And my question is it really butter? And if it's not, you want to be cautious about putting a label such as that on the product, because now there are a lot of people coming after people with these labels and saying that's not what it is. And there are lawsuits that are happening, right? So you want to clarify, is this truly butter? Is this a spread? I heard those terms used interchangeably throughout the presentation. So clarify what it really is. And then also I heard brain health. Why is that so important? Or how does this product truly impact brain health? And why is that a particular target? As far as the commercialization piece of it, I'm interested in learning in your future presentations, is this going to be a standalone product that is at, unique health food stores that's competing in that vegan and vegetarian market? Or is this going to be an additive in certain products that maybe in certain urban markets and you're going to try it as a replacement? I'm thinking about the, even like at home popcorn. So if you could clarify how you plan to distribute or market this, and then also truly clarify what the product is it butter or is it not? So that you don't get into any legal trouble down the pike.
Thank you. And thank you, Team Bonus Butter. Do we have Team Campus Wellness Companion from South Carolina State on? How about Team STEM United from South Carolina State? Do we have any of those team members on? Do we have Team Care on Demand from Morehouse College?
Yes, we are here.
Hi.
Yeah, we're here.
Terrific. Thank you both for joining. I'll go ahead and get started with your presentation.
Hello, my name is Quincy Box. Hi, my name is Alex Oja. And we are Care on Demand. At Care on Demand, our mission is to transform mental health care through accessibility and community support. Did you know that the global healthcare services industry is bigger than the cosmetics, consumer electronics, and automotive industry combined? And 1 in 5 U.S. adults live with a mental illness.
You would think it would be easy for someone to receive help, being that we're in a first world country, but that's not true. From the first day they want to get help to the day they actually receive help, it takes about 48 days.
The problem we are solving is the delayed support, lack of anonymity, and fear of judgment that prevents people from seeking mental health. Our solution is to combine the convenience of online forums, the precision of AI-assisted therapy, and the speed of real-time community support. We will do this through Amy, which is an AI companion that analyzes communication patterns, enhances the counseling experience, and can predict things such as depression through voice-based healthcare tracking technology.
We've tested this concept out on people in our community, and the concept is based off the idea of Reddit. We're going to create voice memos so that our audience can be better understood with what they say. Amy is able to help with counseling by being able to match users with therapists who align more with their beliefs.
Our target market are women age 18 to 34. This makes up 60% of the current users of mental health app base. The reason we're doing this now is because there's been explosive growth in mental health app technology.
Our competitions are places like Talkspace, Calm, Headspace, Reddit.
For our business model, we are offering a freemium model. Our traction is that we have won pitch competitions. For our market opportunity, our total addressable market is $10.2 billion, and our service addressable market is $2.37 billion. Our projections are $1.5 million in revenue by year 5 and to be profitable. However, this only assumes the subscription model. This is a little bit about our team. And we are asking for $100,000 pre-seed for 14% equity for product development, sales, and marketing to hire key team members and to prepare for Series A. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Care on Demand.
I think I'm first this time, and forgive me for the term, but I like to see that strong advisor, Rashawn Williams, on your deck. So good job for adding him to your team. And of course, looking at mental health, that is a target market for a lot of folks. There's some opportunities here, but let me go to the cautious points first. As it relates to AI-assisted therapies, and I actually just had a fresh conversation with NIH today. So you want to be cautious about.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was having some technical issues.
Okay, so you want to be cautious about any potential liabilities that can come from AI-assisted therapy versus AI-resourced therapy resources. And there's a difference in that, right? Because there's a lot more comfort with using AI in medtech, medical health spaces with sharing resources versus actually conducting the therapy. And so there's no policy or a substantial policy out on that yet. That could be an opportunity as well, where you could add value to potential policies that are coming out in the medical space related to AI. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing is there's a huge opportunity with data where you can position yourself accordingly, based off of the data that is captured. And I do like the AI avatar. I think it's important that we have more AI avatars that are representative of the country, that are being implemented by companies that actually represent the demographics of the country versus those just using it for marketing material. So I know that was a lot, but I hope that was helpful.
Yes, and I want to echo, I thought this was wonderful. I think my first concern was around that liability. Just thinking through, how will you deal with personally identifiable information, PII? How will you deal with data itself? Those are going to be the first questions. And it's a place that you'll find yourself in a world of worry if you don't address them right away. So really having clear answers about how you will deal with people's data when people are saying very personal things into a app. You want to understand how that will, oh no, it's okay, Quincy. So we were just saying, I don't know if you were talking to me or talking to Lakeisha, but I'll have Lakeisha say hers again after me. But I was just saying with personally identifiable data, it is really, really important that you are able to articulate how you're going to manage that personal information. So if someone says something to you very, very personal, they're going to also want to know, you'll have some identifiers, whether you want to or not, because they're already attached to all the apps in our phones. And so just understanding what that is, you don't have to necessarily at this point in your development of your product know all the answers, but seeking out advisors that have expertise in that particular area is going to be really key. So that may be somebody who works in a health analytics firm or someone who understands those, and actually have someone for you who went to Morehouse. So there's someone I know who can help you with that particular problem. But just understanding how you'll deal with data itself. And then an emergency. So when you're dealing with mental health issues, you have to have a plan for if somebody says something like, I'm going to do X, and X is something really bad. how does the avatar deal with that, and having a clear plan for what that looks like so that you're reducing liability for yourself and also so that that person is safe, right? First and foremost, which is what you're trying to do. So really just thinking through some of those is really, really key as you move along here. I agree with Lakeisha, you had a lot of really great pieces already in terms of advisors and people in the way that you're thinking about things. And then I am not an investor person. You want to talk to Brendan or you want to talk to Lakeisha when you talk to folks like that, but thinking through how much equity you're willing to give up for a particular share, understanding what's the right amount. I know that that's something also to think about. So seeking out advisors that can give you wise information so that you're not selling a great idea for less than it's worth. And then the last thing I just want to say is you did say all of your comparators. If you end up having a moment thinking through beyond just the basic of like, we're better than them, understanding even deeper, like how you do stand out, because this is a really saturated area. So you're going to want to make sure that you're very, very clear on what the return on investment is. And that could be part of some of the things like Lakeisha said, the AI avatar being representative, things that you could do to stand out beyond all the rest of the competitors.
Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. And Quincy and Alex, I welcome you to ask additional questions during our Q&A portion. Thank you both. Do we have Team Aqua Alerts from Jackson State University here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, we're here.
Great.
Hi, my name is Ashley Hollins, and I've lived in Jackson, Mississippi my whole life. One of the major and most reoccurring issues that is happening in Jackson is the ongoing water crisis. Some of these challenges include discolored water.
Oh my God, I'm just trying to make dinner and the water is not clean. What do I do?
Some of these challenges include water shortages and low water pressure across the city.
What? I don't have any water. I'm gonna take a bath. I gotta get ready for school.
To combat the challenges that come with Jackson water crisis, our team brainstormed and we created Aqua Alert mobile app. This app gives you real-time updates, resources, and community connect regarding water availability and distribution. Guys, the interesting part is this. The app is free for all, so go ahead and download it to your mobile phone.
I'm so excited, guys. I downloaded the Aqua Alert mobile app on my phone for free. And through this app, I found places to go pick up free water. This app has amazing features such as real-time notification to receive instant alerts on water availability, distribution, locations directly to your mobile device. It has an interactive map where you can find the nearest water distribution point. It has a resource hub for information on water conservation and usage, and you can also connect with the community and offer for volunteering opportunities. Download the Aqua Alert mobile app on your phone for free today to be part of the process. Your participation can make all the difference. So stay informed, stay connected, and stay hydrated with Aqua Alert. Thank you for watching.
Hi, my name is
Great job. Thank you both, or thank you ladies for your sharing that Aqua Alerts app. Dorothy.
Great job. I think the one question, it was very clear what you were trying to do. It was very clear and compelling and fun. It was a very fun video to see a live demonstration. The only question, one of the questions I have is really around the stakeholder usage. So what's your business model? Who is the stakeholder in terms of like your partnership? So what jumped to mind is the city of Jackson on board? And that would be something to indicate. So maybe some preliminary research to figure out, are there stakeholders in the city of Jackson, mayor's office, or somebody who's interested in this? Is it something that the Office of Public Works would be interested in? Is it the 411 folks, So understanding who within your local ecosystem might be partners on this to make sure that it actually has widespread distribution. And that's the other sort of question that's along with it, is how do you intend to market this? So is it going to just be word of mouth, or do you have a marketing plan around how you'll make sure that folks do adopt this, especially thinking through, you said one of your use groups would be senior citizens. And so some of them might be more disconnected from the resources they have. So how will you ensure that they are able to download the app, that they have, that it's able to be visualized large enough for them to read, things like that. So just going through some of those additional pieces and doing some additional research, I think will strengthen your pitch. But I think it's great starting with.
I just want to say, wow, I learned something new today. And I'm wondering, like, why is this a problem in 2024 in, a city there is Jacksonville, Mississippi? And I'm wondering, like, what's going on? I see some applications, especially when we think about security of our nation and our waterways and protecting ourselves from cyber attacks and even more substantial attacks. So I'm wondering if there could be some collabs with FEMA and some of the other agencies that Dorothy mentioned, and even DOD. But ultimately, folks are going to wonder, how are you going to make money? So is this more a governmental type project initiative that can be funded? Because it's not really clear from a traditional commercial standpoint how money can be made from that perspective. But I do see this as being needed, especially when I think about Flint, right? So it might also be helpful to kind of put a tracker that indicates how long there's been danger or concerns with the water, that and perhaps that could be used for future legislation. Just a thought.
And I really like that. Sorry, Neela, I know you're trying to
No,
keep
you're
this
good.
But just, I actually didn't think about it until Lakeisha just said this, but that this actually could be an app that also is used to gather data. So if there is a resource, I think one of the things I saw was some sort of forum or community sort of touch point, like there could be a way to gather data that then would be useful to stakeholders, and that actually can be funded through government dollars. So often there are government funds that are available to collect data on a crisis, or FEMA, gets the data from local municipalities. So it relies on local data collectors to actually give them the data they need to know how severe the problem is and whether to direct federal resources. So I think this could be really, really powerful. And I hadn't really thought about it from a policy lens, but I think that that could be a really strong case of a different way to get funding for this. And I do want to say, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, I do think a lot of us focus on some of the larger sort of like, this is a product in the most commercial sense. But I think historically and all the time that I've been involved with this, the HBCU Making an Innovation Initiative is not only about solving things that will make you money, right? So we're also, obviously, we care about the communities that we live in, the communities that we come from deeply. And there are other ways to fund really amazing innovations. And so I'm actually really happy, and I do want to say kudos to everyone here for the ways that you've all thought about these, right? Because they're not all things that are just going to make you millionaires. It's okay if you want to be a millionaire, and it's also okay to solve a problem within your community and get millions that solve the problem versus necessarily making you personally rich. So I just want to say that, because I don't want it to ever seem that one type of problem or solution is more valued than another. We need problem solvers in the world. There are lots of problems to be solved that in our world. So sorry, Neela, I went over a little.
No, you're perfectly fine. And I see that, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Ebele or Ebele. If you can hold off for just maybe 5 more minutes to hold off for your question. We want to get through one more, and I just want to double check to make sure that none of our other team members from the teams that we had to pass over. So if you're good, I will make sure that you are the first question up in our Q&A session. So thank you. Philander Smith University Team FitArc. Do we have anyone from that team on board? Okay, I want to pause for a second. If there were any team members, yes, I heard somebody come off mute.
Hello, so I'm here for Philander Smith University team. I'm Trent Cobra,
Okay.
Rising Junior.
Hi, Trent. Are you with Team Fit Art?
Yes, Philander Smith
Okay.
University.
Great. So I'm going to stop sharing really quickly and reshare um, on a different page because when we tested it out, it didn't show up when we were trying to do it earlier. So give me 1 second.
Actually, sorry about that. I didn't see Fit Org. I'm not a team Fit Org with the next team.
You're with the other team?
Yeah, the other Philander Smith University team.
Okay. So then you may be on. Yours, I think, is good to go. So give me 1 second. Team Feast Forward, Trent?
No, ma'am. I'm also on that team. We're on a different team. We're on pick and place operations, the robotics
Okay.
team.
Did you all submit your video pitch to me?
Yes, ma'am. And you gave us confirmation as well.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna stop sharing real quickly to find their video. Is there anyone from Fisk University or from Bowie State that has joined that we did not see their video? I sure did. I apologize, Arthur. Your video is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up so that we can share it on YouTube. If you give me 1 second. Oh. All right, let me share my screen.
A concept for a collaborative robot model for pick-and-place operations in the healthcare industry. For our implementation, we'll be using the VEX claw machine, which you can see here. This modern and versatile robot is perfect for the pick-and-place operations that we might encounter in the healthcare field. Now, we don't only plan to use our robot for the transportation of materials and tools, but there are also a few different benefits that will really help with our implementation. For example, our robot can be used to reduce the contamination, minimize physical strains, and speed up routine tasks, all involved with a surgery that a doctor may do. As far as the design goes, the gentle grip makes it perfect for transporting fragile items that the doctors may be using during surgery, and the quick setup, integration, and the easy programmability of the model makes it easy for anyone to use. Speaking of the VEX robot, let's test it out.
Oh hey, it's Vex. Thank you. And that's an example of how it's done. Now, I'll talk about a more in-depth version of how the day-to-day operations of the Clawbot will work. Firstly, right there, as you can see, healthcare professional, which is a doctor, will retrieve surgical tools from the Clawbot. Clawbot will give it a confirmation. Now, for the next example, Clawbot between patient. Patient will retrieve medicine from the Clawbot, and the Clawbot will give it confirmation. And then, after all of this is done, the Clawbot will await its next instructions from either a doctor, a nurse, or anybody else in charge around there. Overall, our Clawbot will lower cost and improve safety through the means of less human-to-human interaction. And finally, it will increase efficiency as manual labor will be done by our Clawbot. Thank you.
Thank you, Trent and Arthur, for sharing that video. Fantastic. Lakeisha, go ahead.
I'm excited about the world of robots. I just work with a team nationally at NSF, and so I definitely want to learn a little bit more. One, like, what is the weight capacity for your particular robot? And why would someone choose your robot over someone else's, considering the size? It seems to be similar to some other models that are in the market. But I definitely see a need for the applications that you had mentioned. So one of the things that you might want to clarify is how sterile it could be in these particular environments, especially if you're talking about surgical instruments that it can assist with doctors. I definitely see a greater emphasis and need, like with nurses and especially in nursing homes where there's a short staff. I mean, they're constantly overwhelmed with requests and things like that. So definitely, if you could clarify the weight capacity and other ways that it can be used, and then also the costs and how yours is going to be different, that would be wonderful. And if there's any particular software that you're using with your robot, if you could clarify that as well. But I'm excited to learn more.
And I also will echo Lakeisha. My question was, how does it differ from what's currently available? And just making sure that that's really well articulated. And then this is a really tiny thing, but the demo that you did in the video of using the robot, you had just made a point about how it can deal with very delicate items. And then it happened to be some roofing, God, I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, not roofing staples, like roofing tacks. And so those are not delicate. So you might just want to, if you have a chance to retape it, you might want to retape it with a syringe or something that's more delicate, or a bottle of something that would be medicine, just so that you could show the actual healthcare application, because it helps people visualize more clearly what you're trying to do. But I thought it was a really wonderful first video. And really on a great trajectory so far.
Thank you.
Thank you, team, Belinda Smith University. Are there any other participants that joined whose video we may have passed over because you came on late or that was missed? I would give you the opportunity now if your video was not shown and you came on a little bit later. Okay, great. I don't see anyone's hands, so we have about 9 minutes left. I want to give this opportunity for any Q&A for AAAS for our pitch advisors. Abele, I know that you had your hand up and I said I would be mindful to make sure that you asked your question. So if you want to come off mute first to ask your question, I'll be happy to, I know our advisor would be happy to follow up and provide a response for you.
Okay. I just wanted to ask the question in line with anyway, let me say thank you so much for the feedbacks. They really help. So what I want to, just a follow-up question so we know exactly what to do. So I have a question for Ms. Jones-Davis. So she mentioned about trying to know if we can use the app to gather some data so it can be funded, for instance. But I wanted to mention that we have a provision where we can report, because this is a major issue and we all have a fair share of that. That's major reason, the problem we have in our community that led us to that. So we have a provision where you can report the cases in your area, irrespective of what the problem is. So I don't know if that is enough for the data collection. That's my first question.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be fine. I think it's just more of a proof of principle of showing that like we're able to collect. So you might say, okay, I don't know where that data is going right now or the flow of information. I'm aware of the problem in your community, but I don't know how it's currently being solved. So it might just be thinking through, okay, let's say, I don't know, like the mayor's office is collecting that information, or the Department of Public Health is collecting that information. Maybe you're just a conduit. So it's another way for people to add their data in, right? So let's say sometimes some of those things are like really, they're very draconian. So it's like you're filling out a form that, you know, you're like, I want to push a button. And so an app is a great way to do that. And so if your app, if you can work with, let's say, the Department of Public Health people or whoever it is that's collecting that data as another way for people in the community to report that, and then they take those ends and they add them to their already big data set that they report to FEMA and whoever, you don't have to solve the entire problem. You're just trying to figure out how you're communicating with that local agency. Because I think it is a powerful way for you to add on to what's already being done. And I think that's one thing that I think Lakeisha's point about like, what is going on and how is this issue, or how is this issue being solved, is really, really important. And so understanding how your app fits into the existing ecosystem of what's already being done. Right. So if there are already resources, let's say on a website somewhere, you can say like, there are resources, but they're not easily found. Right. And so one of the things we want to do is just make it, you know, I thought your video was really great saying this is really accessible for people to show right now what's happening just in time. And that's really, really an improvement over, you know, there are lots of people trying to solve this problem, I'm sure, but you're trying to get it to be done in a faster time frame, for example. So I think even that data collection, can it happen faster? Can it happen more responsibly? Those kinds of questions. And I just want to say for everybody, when we're giving you suggestions, we understand you may not be able to implement everything. We just want to make things aware to you so that you can start to do the research. And the way that this works is that, you know, you're creating the best prototype you can. And hopefully this will help you to also identify additional resources and additional partners that can help you make your prototype a reality. And that may be through like folks that, you know, folks like Lakeisha introduce you to, or other people on our advisory team have really great connections. But, you know, when we give you a suggestion, if you're like, I just really can't figure out how to solve this, that's okay. And that's also what we're here for. So we can help you walk through some of those steps to solve that problem. So you might say, well, how would I do this? And, you know, we can happily take some conversations offline and work with you. I think that's allowed within the provisions. Yeah.
Okay. Is that what the other advisor meant when she said something about the stakeholders involved in our app? Is it what she meant by that? Not
Lakeisha,
you. Thank you for the answer.
I'll let Lakeisha talk because she's here. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't remember, but from a standpoint of data, I want everyone to realize that if you are collecting a lot of data and specifically for a unique area, I need you to understand the value of that data and do whatever you can to safeguard that data, and also do what you can to make sure that you're benefiting from that data. And the last thing is, if you ever are acquired or transitioned into another entity, what happens to the ownership of that data? So keep some of those things in mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I think to go back to stakeholders, so stakeholders can be thought of in a lot of different ways, but stakeholders are really everyone that benefits or is benefited by the thing that you're doing, right? So anyone who there might be an impact on. So that certainly will be the users of your app, right? Like the people within your community, the students, everybody who would use your app, but it may also be people who use, to Lakeisha's point, the data from your app. Right. So if there is a entity like a FEMA or a local agency that would use your data or use, you know, so anyone who could possibly be a partner to you, those are all stakeholders. And at this point in all of your research, you guys should be thinking about who are all my stakeholders. And to the extent that you can do some investigative sort of conversations, this is not any commitment, you know, you're not selling off your stuff, you're not making any promises, but you're like, hey, I'm a student, I have this really cool prototype, I'd be interested in asking you some questions. To Lakeisha's point, keep your proprietary stuff to yourself. Like, don't tell them all your secrets, because then they'll just go do it faster than you can. Right? But you want to say we're really interested in partnering and helping. And maybe for that particular stakeholder, for you, it might be saying, what data would be really helpful? If we were able to collect just-in-time data for the Department of Health, what would you want to know? And they can tell you that. And that's really valuable, because then when you create it, when you make the thing to get the data they need, then you're going to be the people they're looking for, right? So they're going to be willing to write a grant with you, to get it funded, to give you some local funding, some county funding to pay for it, some FEMA funding. They're going to say, this is the solution. We have it right here in our backyard. Our amazing students made it. So you want to do that research so that you're when they are thinking about where can I go to solve my problem, you're right on their list, number one on their list.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course.
It's a great question. And thank you for asking that, because I think what I found listening to all of the feedback was that so many of the comments that Lakeisha and Dorothy shared via each team could be applied to many of the different teams, and different parts of their advice could be spread throughout what another team is doing, even though it was directed to one team. So I do applaud all of you who have stayed on to listen to all of the feedback and advice, because it was truly beneficial. And I think you all can find ways that you can apply that to your projects and to your pitches, most importantly. I want to just point out a few things. We have 1 minute left. I've just put in the chat our post survey that we would like for each of you to complete. As you recall, how long is the presentations for each team? So when we do the presentations at the showcase, you have about 5 minutes. So it's extended beyond that 2-minute time frame that we gave you for the video pitches. We give you about 5 minutes because sometimes the student teams actually do a demonstration. So we want to be mindful of the time that is allotted to make sure that you are really truly sharing the most important aspects of your prototype to our judges. And more information on that will be coming in the later weeks. The post survey, as I was indicating, is very important, as Kavita shared with you all during our orientation. Please take a few minutes to fill that out. It should take no more than 2 minutes to complete the survey, but it is a critical piece of this project and how we are able to continue obtaining the data and the impact that the work that we do, and having advisors such as Lakeisha and Dorothy on board. It helps us inform how we continue to do that. This will be shared and recorded with you all. We should get it to you all by Friday. I want to pass it over to Iris for closing remarks. Go ahead, Iris.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can we go to 4:35 since we started at about 5 minutes late? If we have any more questions or comments, definitely please fill out the survey, scroll up and copy those links. Also, I put in the chat some links for Dorothy and Lakeisha's organizations. Lakeisha mentioned their hackathon, so definitely scroll up and catch those links. Definitely fill out the survey. I just wanted to mention a few things, and we can just send these via email, but just wearing my policy hat, like you all are doing some amazing work, and just some general comments that I think will apply to all of the projects, just echoing those sentiments. Again, from my policy hat, you have 20 to 30 seconds to make your case. There could be somebody with $1 million ready to invest in these ideas. So really, introduce the problem, case, like, why should we care about this? And if we have funding or policy power, why should we care? And what is going to make us care about, your problem? How are you really filling a gap, right? So your prototype, again, as was mentioned, it doesn't have to be like rocket science. You could be improving or enhancing an existing process. Really think about, do some landscape analysis. What is currently going on in your city, your government, or your state? How can you improve or enhance an existing process or product? Think about your potential partners. Like, your consumer might not be a person, it might be the FDA, it might be your state health and human services. Like, be thinking on that level of potential partners. Do some cold calls, reach out to some local, county, or state organizations that may have a problem that you can help solve, right? You may have that gap or that expertise that can really, really take, an existing effort to the next level. And maybe that's something that we can help you with, like doing these cold calls and reaching out to potential partners. Like, maybe we can help with putting a template together for you to help you with doing that if you've never done that before. But just like looking at these projects, there are people that I know off the top of my head that will help, with these efforts just from a policy hat. So really doing the landscape analysis, find out what is currently going on or what current products exist or are similar. How can you fill a gap? Like, why is your product or process better? So really just be thinking along that level and just really making the case for somebody that could be looking for your very solution, right? Or your enhancement, and really communicating that in a short, concise manner. And these will help, as you iterate on these. So this is the first one But Dorothy and Lakeisha are definitely the experts. But just from a policy like standpoint, there are local city and county governments that have funding right now, that have many grants right now, that you can just reach out to talk to get some advice right now to help with all of what I've seen today, and just be really thinking about the next level. Like after this iteration, I'm already thinking about the next level and the iteration of all of these products. Because another thing, think about transferability, right? So the sweet potatoes, like that extends to oranges in Florida, right? That extends to other states and other issues. So think about how your specific project may extend to solving a larger problem, a broader problem, a problem in another context, nationally, globally. So be thinking on that level as well. I wanted to mention.
Thank you, Iris. I wanted to respond that the videos that were shared are not what you will be pitching at the Showcase in-person competition. That will be actually this entire student teams pitching their prototype. In the past, we've had teams that demonstrated the app, live. It was streamed on, on our projector. They showed us how it worked. Teams who had physical prototypes, they demonstrated those during the showcase. But the video is not the official pitch. The video was an opportunity, for us to be able to see what exactly you all are, what was the prototype that you all designed, so that it could be shared and so that you can receive feedback on your pitches, because that's kind of the initial step of, okay, this is what we're putting out there, this is how we're sharing our prototype, and we use that as an opportunity for Dorothy, Lakeisha, Iris, myself to be able to provide feedback for this. Any other questions? I want to give Lakeisha one moment. I think we're at 4:35, but Lakeisha, if you want to share really quickly an AI tool that was developed to help with the teams with their pitches, I think this is a great opportunity for you to be able to share that right now.
Thank you so much. And everyone, I'm going to put a link in the chat, and you can feel free to copy that and put some of your project data in there. Ultimately, this was my way of cloning myself as a coach, because there's so much demand that I can't meet everything. But it provides you with prompts so that you can put details about the problem, how much does it cost, but then it will also provide you with sample questions that investors and advisors may ask. So I encourage you to use this tool. Again, I created this, and so you can give me feedback on it too as you use it throughout the next few months. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakeisha. It's a wonderful tool. I was able to use it to try it out, and it is fantastic. It was a part of the plan to be able to share this with you all, and you all are hearing directly from the person who designed that itself. So again, we use this showcase not only for you all to have an opportunity to receive the professional development, to come to DC, but you are literally having conversations with the experts, those who are in the field, who will be able to help you all on this journey. So I thank you all again for joining and taking full advantage of this. A reminder again to please complete the survey as soon as you get a chance. This will be shared with your team. Yes, Kiana.
I had a question. It might be a stupid question, but for those who don't get like the top 3 or just a final contestant, does that mean that their prototype will not get investment?
Okay, great. That's a great. So this year, what we have done differently is that this is a 2-part 2-year cohort. So there is the idea of what the students are presenting is to showcase it at the showcase, to present it to our judges who will provide feedback and who will place our first, second, and third team. The investment, there is a cash prize that is attached to that. How the student team choose to use that is on their own. If you choose to use it as an investment towards your prototype, that's fine, but it is your money to choose to use however you choose fit. The second year of the cohort, however, we are taking a bit more thoughtfulness into exactly what you are talking about. What are the next steps? We've designed this prototype. How do we bring it to market? how do we get investment? How do we get funding for it? We're using the second year. So for you all, a part of this cohort, that would be next year, to kind of give you all professional development, have a boot camp. You'll be learning about that. I'll be sharing some info. We have a boot camp with VentureWell, who would like to invite you to their e-teams, to apply for their e-teams, which provides funding for student teams, student inventors, student makers, student innovators. So we're going to be putting all of those resources in your hands. So whether you place first or 10th, you will all be invited to be a part of that second year showcase cohort, where you will all be receiving all of that information. Everyone is invited to be a part of that. The first, second, and third place teams choose to do with their cash prize as they wish. Does that
Okay,
answer your
thank you.
question? You're very welcome. Yeah. So a lot of info today. I mean, this was a wonderful session. Dorothy and Lakeisha, I thank you all tremendously for taking the time out of your day to provide this feedback. I think they both have offered to be available if anybody has questions for them. So feel free to reach out to me if you want to link up with them. Dorothy, Lakeisha, if you're fine with that, I'd be happy to share your emails to the teams so that they're able to reach out to you if they have any questions. We'll be in touch with next steps. Again, it's now 4:39, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But please give yourselves a pat on the back for the effort that you put forth, not only in just designing this prototype, to identifying these problems that you want to create solutions for, but for also taking the time to create these videos. This is not easy when everyone is everywhere. And again, being the innovators that you are, being able to create this and to share this with you all so that you can see what the other HBCUs are doing. You can think about, hey, I might want to collaborate with some of these students, some of my colleagues, some of my cohort when we get to DC, and just using this opportunity to continue to build this community of practice. We don't see this as a one-off. We look forward to continue working with you all and continuing to provide resources to you all to ensure that you all are really moving forward on this inventor's journey, on this innovator's journey, on this maker's journey, on this entrepreneur's journey. I want to thank you all for joining us. Yes, Lakeisha, go ahead.
Just a point of clarification, my one-on-one availability is incredibly limited through the end of August, but I invite everyone to use that tool and/or register for our tech skills training, because we have a number of advisors from companies like Amazon and Under Armour that will also be there to mentor and coach you through some of your solutions.
Thank you, Lakeisha, for that clarification. There is a LinkedIn group chat. I will share that in the chat. It should be in all of the emails that I've shared. We have a private group chat or a private group within LinkedIn where we share a lot of these resources and information. So I will make sure, Quincy, to share that with you. You're very welcome. If there are no more questions, I'm going to end this meeting. Oh, Iris has.
Yeah, if Neela, Kavita, and Claire could stay on this call. And yeah, I was just gonna push. We definitely have LinkedIn and Twitter. We share all of this. It's in all of our notices. You might not be aware of it, but we push our LinkedIn and all of our social media outlets because we share a lot of resources. So they're in all of our communications. So please be on the lookout and be checking those regularly because we share a lot. Of those notices. Thank you again to Lakeisha and Dorothy. Again, as Neela mentioned, we have assembled and curated an awesome community of practice. So it starts now and a lot more in that second year, but you're already getting this, this assistance, this is advice and this input even now, with this first session that Neela mentioned will be in much more detail on that second year, but take advantage of it this year. So thank you all. Best wishes with your iterations for your innovations, and we'll see you on the next call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, Lakeisha. Thank you all.
You probably stopped recording, Neela.
Okay, I don't know why I couldn't end. It's